Brother, I would notice that 1 week before there will be such a perfect slap intermission just before the next video, but oh well. Damn, it's so sad I actually didn't notice it in time. Okay, if you're completely out of touch here, 2 weeks ago at this point I made a video where I touched on game Chambers the Outlaw that was put out of the Steam because of serious backlash developer encountered. And just 2 days ago I logged in on my YouTube account to see 4 consecutively made comments, all made on the same day of posting the video, consisting out of sincere annoyance, stating borderline false information I never said in my video at all, with bad grammar. And so you probably want to ask, who was that deranged monster that was so patiently pissed off 4 times in a row by 20 minutes video to still not watch it to the end? You can assume, like... The funniest and weirdest thing about everything is that I didn't even said anything that bad in the video, really. I did throw few gut punches here and there, but mind me, they were made in good faith. I don't hate anyone. For me that just was comedic, I just found it funny. But I will not ignore it now. I want to document this as something that pretty much was my first notice by anyone. Like, those 4 comments, man, I believe that's as much as my whole channel had before Mr. Spink arrival. I don't know, it's just so incredibly funny for me. You just go throughout every one of them. The game I played in the video is the inferior, worse version of the one that's currently available in the form of demo on the page of Chambers. Just Chambers. Chambers and Chambers the Outlaw are different games, okay? So Chambers is the better Chambers of Outlaw pretty much in every case possible. And so the goal was, in the first place, to try out that old version of the project to see why it sucked so much so it needed to go out of the Steam. What is this conversation is even about? Like, I would assure you, there were some gaps in pacing, I would admit it. Probably I should have stated anywhere in the starting segments that Chambers is going to go out soon in a new way, but the news about its release appeared just before I was ready to post the video for the first time. So I started to working more on it. I added additional segment in the end to cover its soonish NEXTFEST appearance. The whole video ultimately is just a rundown of my experience with the Chambers the Outlaw, okay? Like, the game that was so bad that nobody liked it, and so main developer had to put out of the Steam. That's the direct quotation. and the last one, I don't believe I said a single word on Russian in this video. Like, I never did. I believe I never did, but so it does everything much funnier when I see that developer actually goes into the Russian. Just... Какого, блять, хуя? Чё за отстой? Почему ты на русский-то перешёл? О, боги. So, yeah, I will translate it in language. Chambers demo, check it out. Everything is cool out there. You made me mad. Why did I... Блять, как я тебя выбесил-то, блять, в смысле? Окей, допустим. Hitting yourself and eating weapons in Golden Light are systemic features that tie to other gameplay stuff. Stating that it is just for the sake of it is just wrong and shows the lack of understanding. That's also a very funny one, because I literally never said that it is just for the sake of it. I said, you can do this, why you would do this, fuck around and find out. So pretty much experiment and get what you're getting from it. So the point of this point, okay, is that GoldenEye by design is not a very welcoming game, because in order to do pretty basic and pretty much classic actions from other action first-person shooters, you sometimes need to do things that are not at all obvious for the regular average player. When you see like some kind of a white box with a red cross on it, you assume, yeah, that's a medkit, I can heal from it. When you see a yellow paint somewhere, you like, oh, I need to go in there. When you see a red barrel, it probably explodes. You know, the more you play the games, the more these classical video game tropes you start to notice. And so this game just doesn't work by those rules. And the point is that it is unwelcoming in this regard, because your player's experience from the other games is not really relevant in the same regard here. And player is supposed to be put against it and supposed to adapt against it. And so by default, doing this just makes the game less appealing for the average audience, I assume. Don't even assume, I gotta know this. That's a logical thing. An average player just doesn't want to be put against such stuff. They just want the game that operates and works in the way they expect it to work. Rightfully so. And I never even said that it is something bad there, there's not supposed to be a game like that was made just for the sake of making it. No, I even stated that I like this approach, I like these game design features that actually make the game stand out a bit. Like, I don't even know why this debacle is even coming from. That's so... That's so retarded about this entire conversation. I never even mentioned a single one of those statements he assumed I did. Like, what even is going on here? Free aim weapon moves when MC is drunk. That's just not the truth. Like, I don't know, maybe in the new chambers it's not the case, okay, but in the game I played, that literally how it was like. Okay, my favorite boys and lesser loved girls, here I made a full-blown combat simulation of how gunplay in Chambers the Outlaw actually looks like. So as you can see, here we have our trusty gun, here we have bad cowboy man that we want to assassinate. And so what our gun does naturally, just by default, is wiggling in infinity sign symbol all the fucking time. This space you see on the screen is pretty much your POV. That's what your gun naturally does. So you can logically assume, yeah, if I'm going to scope in, that everything is going to become better. What actually becoming when you scoped in is that now you don't really see your gun. Yeah, potentially you see just the scope, but gun doesn't really become more sturdy or anything. You just start to doing this shit now. So you can logically ask what you can do to actually trustfully aim at this cowboy and actually kill him. Oh, let me bring my trusty piece of wood. Okay, now we have this. So why the fuck does it work? By blocking effective part of the screen by physical mesh, you actually decreasing the potential wiggling ground for your gun, and so like that your aim becomes actually more controllable. Main protagonist will not be bumping a gun into the physical object. So that's how you aim in Chambers the Outlaw. That's pretty much it, or whatever I saw. And the most, like, dumbest part that this video is made even for... Next coming up video is the Steam NEXTFEST series I wanted to push out, really. I wanted to make one big video, but I guess there will be a series with a bunch of little ones with the big anthology in the end, where I will mention every game I did played and I don't know, adding some additional stuff that I didn't cover. There will not be chambers. I'm sorry. That's not because I have hard feelings or anything, that's just because I constructed the list, recorded the games, finished scenarios now, and only And only after that I saw that crash out. I didn't want to include it originally by default just because I was overboard from the work on previous video covering the outlaw. And so... my life is a comedy, man, I don't know. That's it. What a loss. I will play it eventually, as I stated in the video, but not now. not in the closest time. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Like, subscribe, and enjoy whatever you're enjoying. Remember me.